There you go.
All right, very good. Well, we're glad to be here with you today. Thanks for the invite.
Well, thank you for taking the time, Walter. We've been looking forward to it, and I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, well, great. Well, again, thanks for inviting us. We appreciate the offer to come online with you, and we don't do this very much. Maybe this is the second Zoom meeting we've done. But we're glad to share what goes around the shop and what goes on in the shop. So this is kind of the goals that we plan to do. We'll give you a little history of where we are, where we came from, tour the shop, and how we bring a new product to the market. Show some products that are available now, some Q&A, and then something a little special at the end. Showcase started really back in the 80s with Joe Warren in California. He and I became very good friends, and I started doing some design work for him, and it kind of built into a really good friendship over the years. And several years ago, he asked me about taking over Showcase as he was ready to step aside with it. And Debbie and I both decided we'd do that. So we packed up what he had as far as equipment and molds go, and shipped it here from Cherry Valley, California to Armstrong, Alabama. And we put it, here's our location. Most people who come to visit, which is not a lot of people, are surprised to find that Showcase Miniatures is in a bird pen. But it's a quail pen. My father and I raised quail for the hunting industry for 50 years. And when we quit doing that, we had a room available, and so we moved Showcase into it. Here we are when we just got started back in January of 2013. We are hopefully optimistic at this point. I put a poster up on the wall of the Titanic, so just to keep me reminded that good ideas don't necessarily come to fruition. But that keeps me mindful that where we are could always change. Now, here are a few views around the shop. This is a view of the 3D printer station. We have 4 3D printers, all of them are high resolution, high quality. 2 form labs and 2 B9 3D printers. And the cleaning up and curing paraphernalia with that. We have a single universal laser that gets probably overworked, but we keep it busy, keep it going. These are other supplies of what the material that we use to produce our structure kits. Here's our spin casting equipment. This is the furnace and the spin caster itself, along with the tools and things we need to make the products we have in pewter. We don't use any lead. We use all pewter with all of our products. This is part of our photo etching lab. This is the laminator, photoresist laminator, and the exposure unit, showing some of the other rolls of paper that we use with some of our products. And I wanted to begin with a kind of overall process of how a product is brought to, as much as I can, to show you how we kind of bring it to market. And I'll show you the process where we are now with a brand new project, which is this. Our fire trucks are pretty popular, so we always like to add to that line. And this one, this Seagrave, this is a 58 model Seagrave fire truck. Lowell had asked me about doing not a hook and ladder, but a aerial ladder truck on a single frame. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. This screen shows the process. We gather information as much as possible. And if you can see, ideally drawings, but the drawings here are pretty sparse. I was not able to find any drawings. So the second best thing is to buy a scale model that can be scaled to give you that we're doing this in scale to give you the dimensions that you need. Gather as many photographs as I can when we do this. it's all 3D designed to begin with. And we'd make the decision at the time during the design process of what kind of material we'd be using to make the model come to fruition. We use pewter parts that are spin cast. We use 3D printed parts, photo etched stainless steel parts, anything else that we need to do. So we try to maximize the detail, the prototypical model itself, and at the same time try to make it easy to put together, easy to build. Because if you don't enjoy building our models, you're probably not going to come back. So we try our best to make them as easy as possible to build and to keep them as accurate as possible too. This particular model shows that some of the products in different colors here. The orange color would be photo etch details. The white and the blue would be pewter castings, and the red body frame would be 3D printed. Some other parts may be done that way as well until we get to the point, to the final point. We'll build a design a photo etch mask for making photo etch parts, and that usually goes through a couple of renditions before we actually get it finalized and to something that we want to use. When we're doing pewter models, we can't use the parts that come out of the 3D printer because the vulcanizing process requires 200 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit temperature with up to 3,000 PSI for the vulcanizing process. And most of those parts won't survive that process. Most 3D printed parts won't survive that process without warping or breaking or tearing. So we have to go through another step, which is creating hand molds. We create RTV hand molds out of the parts that are 3D printed. Here's a part that was printed, cleaned up. Any details need to be added to it are done at this point. And I put it in a bed of clay because this will be a 2-part mold. Put it on a bed of clay and then we put frames around it for the RTV material. And then here's the final mold. Now in this mold, we'll put a resin that will withstand the temperature and the pressure. It's a 2-part polyester type resin, a urethane resin we put in there, and this post-cured as well in an oven. And then the molds and the parts themselves are cast under pressure to relieve any bubbles that would be in it, any imperfections that would show up. And that we produce the masters for the RTV, for the spin casting mold this way. Next up is actually spin casting, and this is the process that we've used for years and years. It's an old process. A lot of people are familiar with it. It makes a lot of things. We do use a pewter alloy, it has no lead in it. And these parts are laid out on the mold set like this. This is an uncured half of the mold. This is the parts embedded in the first half of the mold, along with the locating pins, the distribution ring, and then the mold frames themselves. These will be put into the vulcanizer, as this video shows. This particular mold is a type of Nicene rubber. It's not a black rubber natural mold or silicone. They're long lasting and they reproduce the parts very well. The mold is closed and hand cranked and started and for a couple of minutes, and then the pressure is gradually increased to the point, and it runs about 5 hours to cure. This is our spin casting equipment, as we showed you to begin with, showing the mold, the leftover pewter that would go back into the furnace to be reused again. This is Mike showing you how the spin casting process goes. He'll set the speed, the clamp pressure, and the direction that the spin caster will run. And once it gets going, when he puts that lid down, it starts going. And then he pours in the pewter. The run cycle is about 35 seconds. And then he can take it from the mold. Take the mold out of the spin caster. Once it's taken from the spin caster, allowed to cool a little bit, the parts are released from there. And that's his pre-inspection. And then the next step is do his first final inspection. But as good as Mike is at it, nothing gets past Debbie, and she'll always double check everything that goes into her inventory box. Here's this shows most of the molds that we have for our production process. They're a combination of natural rubber molds, the black ones, the Nicene molds, and silicon molds. Different process, different mold types, mold sets for different parts. One thing recently we added, well, fairly recently, is a chemical etching process. We do a lot of our products have photo etched stainless steel primarily or brass, and we're getting those done out of outsourcing that until it got to be the turnaround period got to be a lot. So we decided to buy the equipment ourselves 2 or 3 years ago. We bought it from England, and it was sent here. We set it up. We started doing our own process, which is pretty lengthy, but it's helped us to get things on the market a little quicker. First process, all this is done under yellow light conditions. This is after the stainless steel sheets have been thoroughly cleaned, they're laminated with the photoresist under about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and then pressure, just like a regular laminator, except it's photoresist. The laminating process can take a while to do, but it's the new sheet is coming out now, and it'll be trimmed up and be ready to go to work. This is the printer we use. It's a 24-inch drum printer that we use for creating the mask, the tools for the photo etch process. They are done in front and back for both sides, so we can etch one side and we can cut all the way through with both. So this is a light table that we use to align the top and bottom mask. And here's a storage facility that we have for the mask tools. The sheets themselves are the synthesized sheets are kept in a light safe until they're ready to be processed. And the metal is sandwiched between the mask tools. And then they're prepared for exposure. The vacuum pressure holds the sheets in place and holds them together. The exposure process lasts about a minute. And this is a finished exposed sheet out of the mask tool. You can see the parts that have been exposed and the parts that have not. Next step is to remove the plastic mylar coating from the sheet itself. And then we go through a development process using sodium carbonate. We do this step a couple of times if necessary. We take the sheet once it's dried, put it in the oven and let it heat up to 150, 160 degrees, and then it's ready to go in the etcher. Stainless steel takes takes a while to etch through stainless steel, and you can see how fast the process is here, how fast it goes through. It takes about 15 minutes to go through the etcher for one pass. Stainless steel takes about 3 passes to etch all the way through. And this is as the sheets exit, having been washed and ready for the next pass. Once they're finished etching through, we put it in a stripper, the sodium hydroxide, and through a rinse that will take off the spent photoresist. This may take a couple of times too. Sometimes cleaning it off takes a while. And this is a finished sheet ready to be cut apart to take the parts and put them in inventory. And so here's where we are now with this project. You can see we've done this preliminary build. All the parts are pretty much ready to be put in production. As usual, the photo etch needed some attention, and so it'll be modified, amended, and be run again. So that's where we are now with it. It's probably be a couple of weeks before we're ready to release this little C-grade model and N scale, and probably do this one in HO scale as well. So next is going to be kind of Debbie's part of this, and I'm going to let her take over doing some parts inventory and show you a few pictures of what's going on.
Okay, so let's see if I can find the right. This is my little corner of the shop where I work. And right over here is where I stand a lot of times under this light. And all of these boxes here are products ready to be sold. And over here in this part are boxes with just parts in them. They have, like, you can pull out a box and all the parts to a particular kit will be in it. And so we'll take the box over to the counter, and we have color coding in the boxes that tells us what parts go to a particular kit. So my sister and her husband Mike work with us on Mondays, and she stands over there and I stand over here. That's where we fulfill the orders. And let's see, maybe you can click on the next one. I can't get the mouse. Okay, some of our products now we'll be showing, and I know Russ is very familiar with our signals. Some of you others may be familiar with them as well. This is showing some HO and N scale signals that we have on the market, and we have specially designed LEDs to go in them to fit different signals. And we'll be adding to our signal line because actually our signals are a really good seller for us. And I think it's because we incorporate different mediums like metal and photo etch and resin, and anything that will make the product better is what we will use. So we don't stick to just one type of material because we think others will make it better and stronger. So we go with what is best. And for instance, here's a signal. This is a crossing grade signal. And you can see all the parts that come with this particular kit. And you see that there's resin for the base, and there's pewter metal. There's photo etch, stainless steel photo etch. We got some tubing, and we got decals. So all of this, and actually this right here is a strong magnet, and it's used in our magnetic base. So if you tip it over, it will not break. It'll just be a good thing to have, because a lot of times your signals will tip over and break. But this is what we use to make that with. So
and hey, Debbie,
yes.
Russell here. Can you go back to that? Yeah.
Go ahead.
The arms, the lights on the arm are illuminated, but if you incorporate a tortoise or something, can that gate be raised and lowered?
Yes, it can.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
okay. That's what I thought. That's what
Yes.
our viewers might
Right.
Yeah, it
yes.
can be. Even both HO and N scale can be operated.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be the next for me. All right. So, thank you.
Okay. These are just some products in the next few slides that we'll show you. We do structure kits, and all the accessories that come with it, with the kits, are included in the kits. And it's just some more little buildings that we have recently come out with.
Raul Perez builds all of our structure kits for us that we put on display.
Right. He builds and paints our kits for photographing. So this is a recent kit that we came out with just a couple of months ago. And these are some older kits, some barns. And this one right here has been around forever, but it is a very good seller. I don't know why. That barn is a really good seller. And here's some more structure kits that we sell. And then yet again, some more. If you have any questions, you can. This is our latest vehicle for HO scale, and it's a bottle truck. And we have several companion trucks in that. It's a 1929 6-speed vehicle. You can chime in when you want to. All of these are kits.
Those are HO scale. These are N scale.
Mm-hmm. We have that. Those are some N scale.
HO scale again.
And we also sell accessories. Soda machines, snack machines. These are lighted. You can put a LED inside these gas pumps. And for some reason or another, this right here, these air conditioners and power meters have always been a good seller. That's unusual, but it is. More accessories. This one right here, we stopped on the side of the road one day, going down the road, took a picture, and came back to the shop and recreated it. This power pole assembly.
These are N scale and N3 scale locomotive shell kits. They can be powered by little power trucks that we also sell that are made for us in Japan. These are pretty good sellers, really. That people like them. The N3 locomotives are designed to be N scale but run on Z scale track. Recently, well, in the last 6 months, we came with an agreement, a cooperative agreement with Jens Jan at Mad About Cars. When Shapeways went away, he was selling most of his products on Shapeways, but we had talked about it for years, actually joining us at Showcase, because he wasn't happy with the way the products were being produced in Shapeways. So we've entered into an agreement with him, and we're bringing as many of his vehicles to market as we can. This is a new one. These two are new, just released this past weekend. And we plan to bring a lot more to market of his. This shows the VW series in HON and Z scale.
And this is a little something special for everybody watching. If you would like to purchase from us, you may use that discount code, and you will get 15% off of your order. And
That's
and then go to the next.
That's
slide.
pretty much it. So if you got any questions or anything, we'll be glad to answer them.
Walter, why don't you go ahead and stop the share?
All right.
And then I'll put this in gallery view and everybody should be able to see everybody. There we go.
Walter, Russ here again. How, say like any of the parts or that you showed us in the beginning, you know, how many do you make ahead of time?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, in other words, say like just like the crossing gate there, do you like say anticipate you're going to sell X amount of units and you make them and then you know later on you make some more or I mean with the multitude of machines that you have there, I just wondered how you keep it straight of keeping different things going, so to speak.
Right. No, we honestly don't have enough room to keep a lot of products in inventory. So they're pretty much made to order. We can try our best to keep ahead of the spin casting process, the etching process, the 3D printing. The 3D printing is pretty fast anyway, so we can get those produced fairly well, easily, but they're pretty much made on order. We might keep a few completed kits ready to in stock, but pretty much made to order.
Mm-mm.
That's Debbie's place, and she and her sister do a lot of that, especially on Mondays. Monday's a big deal. We're very busy on Monday. Other than that, it's just the two of us in the shop.
Yeah. Okay. And again, any I know I know after Steve built all the double-headed dwarfs that, and I think he suggested to you, and you're doing already the double-headed, but for some of the others, you know, you I guess take other people's inputs and then decide whether you know you can sell enough to be profitable, or how does that work?
That works that way. We keep a stock of everybody's suggestions, and we'll work through them. We've done a lot of things that people have suggested. Some of the things in the works, like a tilting target signal that we may end up coming out with pretty soon, and then going between HO and N scale, depending, just making the same version in different scales. Haven't quite gotten to Z scale yet with the signals.
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
we have a question here in the room from Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
What scale are your G gauge products?
Or our what?
G gauge products.
G gauge products.
What scale?
Do you have any G scale products?
No, we don't. We don't do anything in G scale. We thought about doing some of the products like the 6-speed vehicles in O scale, but we don't have any G scale products at the time. I did some in the past for Joe Warren. I did some figures for F scale, actually is what it was, at 1 to 22 scale Shay locomotives that were produced by Bachmann. There were some figures for those locomotives.
Cool.
Debbie,
Yes,
this is Bruce DeMayer. We've
Hey.
done some business together.
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your plans for the painted vehicles, finish painted vehicles. That's a lot of work. How do you guys get that all done?
Well, we do have people that would like for us to build and paint the product, and we're just started offering that. My sister does a lot of that, and she just you know, if you got a certain color you would like, she'll take those requests, and she does a really good job.
She does, really does.
Yes, she does a really good job. And we also have another customer actually who has recently kind of gotten on board with us, and he will take orders and so you would order the kits from us and we would get it to my sister or to the customer that we have brought on board doing kits for us, and we'll send it to either one and they will do it. And then after you pay for the kit, they get the kit and with your special colors or your your specific design, maybe you have a different way you want it designed. They will take it, build it, paint it, and then you will pay them directly for the labor.
An outstanding way to do a fire engine. With every fire engine is different because of the coatings that are put on the outside.
Right.
So it's a fabulous way of getting a realistic finished product.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's a good question.
Kevin Jones here in the room.
What 3D design software do you use?
I use one from IronCAD called Innovate. It's a 3D model, pure 3D modeling software that it makes solid 3D models to begin with. It doesn't make facet models like some of the Autodesk software does, and it has to be converted. But I design with it more the way that I would build something by hand.
Okay, any other questions here? Yes, John.
What kind of parts selection do you have? I know you talked about kits, but is there, if I was like, say I wanted that photo etch ladder off of the fire engine to upgrade another fire engine, is that a possibility to get that?
Yeah, we'll do that. Debbie gets asked that a lot. So
yes, I get that question a lot. People say, well, I want this piece out of that kit, and would you mind helping me out? And yes, I do that. So if you find something in one kit, just have to send me an email and I'll help you out.
if somebody asks for that, we usually end up putting it in inventory, so it'll show up on the website in case somebody, then just do it that way. So in case somebody else wants it too.
Yes, like we've done with the ladder truck. You can buy the photo etch separate.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we started making all of our signals as well. You can buy the mast assembly separate from a head assembly because you may want this mast assembly with that particular head. So everything is broken down on the website, and you can just buy a particular head you want with a particular mast assembly you want.
Cool. Now one more question.
Sure.
You have a wig-wag signal, right?
A wig-wag?
Wig-wag signal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Is that operational or is it a static model?
They're static models right now. Yeah, it'd be kind of tricky even in HO scale to make those reproducibly be to work. I mean, they would definitely be they're craftsman models already, craftsman kits. So that would be that'd be a pretty good project.
Real challenge.
Yeah.
And guys out there, like if you do consider getting any of the signals that there's a couple on the layout that there are the tri-signals, which New York Central used west of Buffalo there. And the neat thing, I think Walter was alluding to it earlier, that they have a pretty neat deal that they have, I don't know what the cluster of LEDs that fit right inside the head, and then you have the realistic back to it. So I mean, it makes it a no-brainer for the LED portion. They're all three there in one unit, so it's pretty slick. So you don't have to, depending on whose prototype signal you're going to use from their collection, that the LEDs fit right in the housing there, and like I said, makes it a no-brainer. So that's a pretty neat deal.
So I'm gonna tag on to the question about taking kits apart and putting them out there as separate things. it was several years ago that Russ wanted some signage on his layout, and I said, you know, we could do these 4x4 sticks to do the signs, and there were custom signs that I was making because you know no one makes the specific route numbers and so forth that Russ wanted on the layout. And I looked at showcase managers and reached out to David and said, hey, you know, I don't need the stick on signs, but I do need those sign posts. And it wasn't but a few days later, and I had them in hand. So if you ever want to see those, they're on Russ's layout. And then she put them out there so you can go out and buy those signposts as an individual line item as well.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that.
I better go running then.
Yeah, I remember that. So I said, well, if he wants it that way, somebody else may. So I just put it on the website that way. And a lot of times that's how these kits come about.
There you go. So we have a lot of your goodies on the layout here. So.
Yeah, and there are a lot of your goodies in storage cabinets in my house waiting for
Yeah,
us to go up.
And absolutely.
Well, I asked Joe Warren one time when we were talking about how many of our kits that are sold do you think actually get built? And he said probably about 80% are not. So there are probably a lot of them on the shelf.
Well,
Eventually they'll get built.
Yeah.
as just about everybody else on this call knows, we've been building this layout for years, and it's getting there. We're about at that point where we're going to be putting stuff other than track down, aren't we, Russ?
You betcha.
You betcha.
Any other questions here in the room or online? Well, I can say that I think you've come a long way from raising birds.
Yeah, we sure have.
Yes. No, if
Very
we could-
impressive business. Your flexibility is very commendable.
Well, thank you. We enjoy what we're doing, and even in retirement, I'll be doing this anyway. So that's
Which we are past retirement age. So,
Yeah.
so you know, however our health can hold out, that's how long it'll go, I guess.
All right.
As for all of us,
Yeah.
Walter and Debbie, thank you very much again for taking your time today. It was nice seeing you face to face, and very nice having the tour of your business.
You're welcome, and thank you again for inviting us.
Yes. Thank you.
See you.
See
Okay,
ya. Bye.
bye.
Okay. Fred,
Yep.
say goodbye. Shut
All
it
right,
down,
you guys,
Fred.
have a good weekend.
See y'all.
Adios.
Shutting it down.